Feel right?
Yeah, I had to feel it out.
Okay.
Make sure we were ready to rock.
It's good.
So we're recording kind of late.
Yeah.
People obviously not gonna. They'll know when it's out at a weird time, weird day. But we're recording kind of late, and it's all my fault.
It's okay.
And I just was not ready for the consequences
of your actions.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't even know where to begin to lay out all of the mistakes that I made.
We got a whole show, buddy.
Yeah.
Maybe let's start with the beer. How about that?
That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Obi, tell the people what we're drinking tonight.
Well, tonight we have the Hop Abduction Hazy IPA. Craft beer, 16 fluid ounces, made in USA by Argentinian hands. And we do, in fact, have a cold reader for this one. This one is from Prision Pals Brewing Co. Never heard of them. Maybe it's Prision. I'm not sure how to pronounce that.
Prision?
You guys can let me know. Mm-hmm. This is the Hop Abduction. Amazingly tropical character contributed by a mix of American and New World hops. A cloudy beer with moderate bitterness, high body, and silkiness from grains, barley, oats, and wheat. The star of the craft scene, it does contain lactose.
Oh, wow.
So I will need some lactate. ABV is 5.2%, 40 IBU, 1.06 OG, whatever that is, and 1.02 FG, whatever that is. Relative bitterness gets a 3 out of 5 hops. Brewed and canned by Prision Brewing Co. LLC. And that's in Doral, Florida.
All right. Well, we'll see about that hop score that bitterness score. Mm-hmm. And the only OGs that are here are right here. Yeah. This is episode 315 of the One Beer In podcast. That's pretty good. Mm-hmm. You can taste the lactose.
Mm-hmm. Scares me. Entices me.
Right. This is the One Beer In podcast, the podcast where two brews crack open a brew and see where that one brew takes us. Please like, share, and subscribe everywhere that podcasts are sold and listened to. It would do us really well if you did that.
Leave some comments, too.
Yeah, it'd be a nice little kindness. Mm-hmm. Or leave a mean comment.
Yeah.
Just leave a comment.
We can take it.
We definitely can take it.
Yeah.
If you got something to say, just fucking say it.
Yeah.
And if you're not afraid of debate, I think that's what it is.
You're afraid? You're afraid of the conflict?
I think a lot of it is just don't really want the smoke. Kind of want the smoke. You want the passing smoke, like the smoke in the doorway kind of smoke, but you don't want the real.
They want the vape.
You want the vape.
Just the appearance of smoke.
And then
it's not actual smoke,
gone.
though. Yeah.
That's what y'all want. Mm-hmm. That's what you bitch-ass motherfuckers want.
Okay.
Sorry.
Relax. Good vibes.
Good vibes.
Come on.
Positive vibes only. So, yeah.
What gave you bad vibes, Marco? Let's get into that.
I mean, so much drinking. A little information about us. We're over 30.
Could you tell?
And life changes after 30. Your body starts to go through a lot of changes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Things start to stink.
Sag. Gray.
And one thing that you lose that everybody talks about is your ability to drink. Like it's almost as if you hit age 30 and it just disappears. It's just gone.
Yeah. It's I mean, the thing is you can still drink, but there will be consequences. Mm-hmm. For me, it tends to be like a game of Russian roulette. where I can go hard. I still can. But every once in a while, I'll be feeling it for about a week.
Yeah.
Every once in a while. So, you got to take that into consideration while you're, having fun the night before.
Yeah.
Have some water. That's all I'm saying.
My older brother, he was like, I don't get hangovers. I'm like, you don't get hangovers? He's like, yeah, I mean, like the next day, I'll just feel, kind of tired and just a little weird. And that'll last for like another 3 days. I'm like, what do you call that? I'm just tired. I'm like, that's a hangover, dude.
Nah, it's sleepy time.
You're lethargic for 3 days after drinking. You don't think that that's a hangover?
Just get a case of the sleepies. What can you say?
So, I mean, it's the one thing that everybody talks about. You turn 30 and you just can't handle your liquor anymore, right? And I know there's gonna be people who are like, I'm 40 and I can still, and to that I say, you have an issue. You have problems. You need to see somebody. If you're not talking to a therapist, you need to be.
Sure. Goes for most people.
For me, for sure.
Yeah.
So, at Red Light, we had our 16th anniversary.
Yay! Yay!
And it was a beautiful celebration. It was awesome. Super busy. We had everybody and their mother was there. Every person, every regular that I've ever seen working there, they were there. And just went off with almost went off without a hitch. And I'll probably go into more detail on that one a little bit later. Just suffice to say, when an event says it's over at 5, it's over at 5.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's over at 5.
Yeah. I think maybe a lot of people think that the rules don't apply to them.
Everybody thinks that the rules don't apply. Everyone is always looking at the next person and going, well, if they're still here, I'm still here.
You feel like an insider, maybe. You want to be part of the in-group that, like the chef's table that stays afterwards.
Well, you're not. Let's just be honest here. You're not. You're not part of the chef's table. You're not part of the brewer's table. You're not part of the bartender's table. Go home, because I want to go home.
The kiddies table. They're part of the
kids' table.
Yeah.
And even the kids want to go home. They're tired of this. They can't have fun at a brewery.
No.
So that was Sunday. We usually have the bars usually close on Tuesdays, and so on that day, our owner, he decided he was going to take everybody out. We were going to have a nice day of drinking with the whole crew.
Nice.
All the bartenders and everybody, the managers and all that stuff. And let me just say, it was nice. For the first couple of hours, it was a good time.
Yeah.
Everybody got to talk and laugh and.
Are you able to say where you went?
Yeah. We went to 1010 Brewing.
Very good.
We basically just hit
that strip.
So Ivanhoe, GB's Bottle Shop.
You go to Nora's?
Yes, we definitely went to Nora's.
Okay.
And she's still the same lady.
She feels like an NPC in a video game. You know, that you just like a shop owner.
Yeah.
You walk in no, she's just there. Yeah. You can just wander in the door and.
She's so mean and so nice at the same time.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
How she's so accommodating, and then at the same time you're like, she's like the soup Nazi. Like the second you say something wrong, you're on her bad side. And she's just yeah.
Orlando's quirky aunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We hit that, and then we hit somewhere else, and then I think we ended at Hideaways.
Okay.
I think
that's usually the end of the road. Yeah.
At that point, I was out.
Oh yeah.
I was done.
Yeah. It's a nefarious drinking trail because at the very end is when you get the liquor.
Yeah.
Which is not good.
Yeah. So that's definitely what the issue was.
Yeah, this is an entire path that has mostly breweries, beer parlors, things like that. And at the very end is like a dive bar that has liquor.
Oh, you know what else? I didn't find this out until 2 days later when I worked again, that somebody told me that I had bought an old fashioned.
Oh no.
At the end, dude.
Oh no.
So this is after
at a dive bar.
No. We had hit Matadors. So we'd come back and hit Matadors.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but at the dive bar, we bought these shots. Okay, so
oh boy,
so listen to this. We got there, and at this point, everyone was kind of fading.
Yeah,
and they were like, "All right," some people started to go home. We were like, "Dope, cool, whatever." Me and one of the other bartenders who I'm cool with, I'm like, "Bro, there was a bridal party."
Oh.
There with us, and they were all in like these silk pajamas because they didn't want to wear their dresses.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I was like, I brought him over and I was like, "Hey man, you want to do some cool shit?" And he was like, "I always want to do some cool shit." And I was like, "Let's buy a shot for this whole party." And then they'll look over it and they'll see the compliments of those two gentlemen.
And you do the
exactly. And he was like, "Oh yeah, definitely, let's fucking do that." So we buy the shots. I go to the bar and I'm like, "Okay, we're going to just do a simple tequila shot. We're not going to do nothing crazy. What's your, like, bottom shelf?" And I said, whatever your bottom shelf is, reach down below that and grab that. Use that bottle. If there's a bottle, like, rolling around on the floor, grab that one and pour the shots.
Bring out the bar rag.
Right. And put that in some cups.
Yeah.
So we did. Everybody took the shots. It was awesome. Everybody was like, the plan worked exactly how I wanted it to. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, look at these fucking cool guys over here." And I was just like, yeah. And I started talking to one of them. And then like
you remember this though, right?
This is all I remember. All of this.
Okay.
This is where the light shut out.
Okay.
So pretty much after this is where it starts to
fade.
Like the light comes on and it goes out.
Yeah.
It comes on.
The shot began to hit the brainstem at that point. Yeah.
And then it just and you just like in a movie where you can just see the
the walls are closing in.
Like, it just gets a little. So I remember all of this. I was talking to one of the girls. She was digging it. Then one of the dudes in the bridal shower, he takes her outside, and then they're out there arguing. And I was like, I wasted all this money for fucking nothing.
Oh, no.
So after that was when I guess we hit a point where it was like, all right, well, we're just going to just hang out and drink more.
Yeah.
And we had food at Hideaways, but it was too late.
Yeah.
We were drinking.
Damage was done.
We were drinking Mickey's. We were drinking we'd started off drinking like really good craft beer.
Right.
And then just each bar, it just gets less and less. And then like you said, you end at a dive bar. So what are you going to drink there? Like fucking just the shittiest stuff you can find.
Get a Mick Ultra.
You're just trying to continue to drink. And I just didn't realize how much that I had.
Yeah.
Because everybody else was like, I asked one of the other bartenders, I'm like, well, how are you doing? He's like, I'm a little tired. I'm like, well, how did you get home the other night? He's like, I drove home. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, I felt fine. I stopped and got some Taco Bell. But I was like, how much did I drink versus everybody else?
Oh,
what
my
the fuck was going on? And he's like, yeah, man. He was the one who told me. He's like, yeah, dude,
you went crazy.
You went nuts. You bought an old fashioned at the end of the night.
I had 2 beers, sir.
I'm like, bro, why would you let me buy an old fashioned at the end of the night? I can barely stand up.
He doesn't know to keep you out of trouble yet.
Yeah, no, right, exactly. Yeah. He doesn't know me well enough.
Yeah.
Hopefully he knows now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, all of this. A friend of mine gets an Uber for me. Shout out. That was awesome of them to do that. Unfortunately.
Oh, no.
I did the classic.
We all know how this ends.
I mean, and dude, I was so close to home.
Oh, no.
I was right outside the house. And I was trying to get the door open. And I was just like, I couldn't communicate to him that it was about to happen.
It's like Jason Voorhees is coming to is slowly approaching, and you can't get the key.
And then you drop it, and you look down, you look up, and then that's it. I threw up all over this guy's car, all over the backseat. I threw up on myself. By the way, this is the shirt.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I washed it.
Nicely laundered, I see. Yeah,
so
nice.
You can't even tell.
Very good.
Only a couple of chunks on it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Threw up all over myself. Threw up in the guy's car. Got out of the car and threw up in every bathroom in my house. Then went to bed. Tried to sleep. Woke up like 3 or 4 hours later. Then threw up in the bathroom again.
Oh, God.
Then finally was able to get to sleep.
That's that bottom shelf.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was definitely the tequila.
Yeah.
Definitely the tequila.
Yep.
I mean, it was the mix. It was the
Of
beer,
course, of course.
tequila.
Like,
then
good craft beer plus cocktail plus crappy beer plus low underground shelf cellar tequila.
cellar tequila.
Shot, by the way. Not even a cocktail.
Yeah.
A shot.
A shot.
And then on top of that, you throw some greasy food.
Yeah. Yeah, I tried to. I thought you could soak it up with. I mean, and the other thing was what we ate was just horrendous.
Of course.
We got all of their appetizers. We got 2 patty melts, mozzarella sticks, fries, some other shit I can't even remember. Seems like cheese curds in my mind, but it's probably not that. But yeah, so just the shittiest thing you could put in your body.
Yeah. Of course. It's what the body wants in that moment.
So I dealt with that for the next 3 days.
Right.
It was just, I mean, luckily I threw up so much that I think I got a lot of the
evil
poison
out.
out.
Yeah. Good.
Before my body could have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Usually, I mean, it's diarrhea city for like a day, for like a day and a half.
I appreciate the honesty with the world you're giving right now.
You're welcome, guys.
yeah.
This is a little about me.
Whereas, for comparison's sake, let's say in our early 20s, say 21 to maybe 25, that all would have been encompassed in a morning.
Yeah.
And then the afternoon, you're feeling better.
Yeah.
And that's fine. By dinner time, ready to go again.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, I remember nights that we've had.
Yeah.
Where I've had those kind of episodes.
You were there.
You were there.
Yeah.
And then, midday, you're just like, well, as long as I get a good meal in me.
Yep.
I mean, we usually would, like Denny's or IHOP or something, big, greasy meal.
Of course.
And then you just kind of sleep it off.
You're good,
and then,
yeah. Sleep until noon. Roll out, get some water, some Gatorade, a burger. Good to go.
So the lesson here, kids, is if you're in your early to mid-20s, drink as much as possible. Because when you hit 30, you can't do that anymore.
Or drink responsibly forever.
Drink responsibly forever.
Yeah, you could do that too.
Yeah.
We advise that on a legal level.
Drink responsibly.
Drink responsibly.
So if you guys are wondering, oh man, episode's a day or two late, it's because I did it.
It's the fallout of Red Light's Sweet 16.
There you go.
So
that could be the title of this episode.
Sweet 16.
Sweet 16.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. That's it.
Well, at least you had a good time.
Had to get that off my chest and out of my body and
course,
onto my chest.
Yeah, right back on there.
Yeah. Excuse me. You know what else? When you hit 30, you get to a point where you either stop appreciating things like good food, quote unquote, or you lean heavy into it, right?
Yeah.
Because you start off, if you're like a mid-20s foodie hipster, everything you try to appreciate everything, and like your entire identity is based around the food that you're eating
or craft beer.
Or the craft beer.
Yeah.
And your social media is just filled with pictures of the beer you're drinking or the food you're eating, and that's your entire identity. And then you get to a point where you're like, I don't care. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'll just eat the mozzarella sticks. I'm too tired to try to find the artisanal, gourmet. Like, I don't care. Just give me, or you lean heavy into it.
Right.
And you're like, the only things I'm going to be eating are this kind of food for the rest of my life. This is who I am. And I think steak is a big one.
Yeah.
I think steak is a big thing in that area of like, are you going to be the person who's like, just put it on a plate. I don't care where it comes from.
Yeah, it's such an identity of what kind of steak person you are.
Yeah.
If you even are a steak person. Some people don't even like steak. But yeah, how you like it done. If you're a type of person, how you cook it. How you cook it's a big one.
That's a big one.
Everything surrounding, there's a steak culture and subcultures within steak culture.
What I've realized is there is literally a culture around
Everything. Yeah.
Everything.
Yep.
It's fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. You can find a subset of people who are nerds about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is no different. And so I don't know what as far as you're concerned. I mean, we have to figure this out because when this weight loss challenge is over with, the other person is going to have to know. You're going to have to know how to cook my steak.
We never agreed we'd cook it the way the other person wants it.
Oh, fuck you.
So
That's now we're going to troll. We're going to grab some fucking bullshit and just slap it on. No, we did. We said it had to be.
I want to make that vegan steak.
That just mound of mud.
What was it?
I have no idea. I mean, it had to have been like a black bean, soybean thing that they just mashed together.
Yeah.
But
okay, yes, I vaguely remember us saying of the other person's choosing.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's definitely
in the style of the other person's
You
choosing.
definitely need to put your foot in it.
Okay. Yeah. That's
You're
fair.
not going to sit here and put some, just a hungry man on the plate.
Salisbury steak.
Yeah. Call it a day.
Fair enough.
So I guess there's a tweet going viral now about this steak or the steakhouse in Pittsburgh where on the menu itself, they literally will not cook your steak well done.
Yeah.
And medium well, they respectfully cannot guarantee that they will be able to cook it medium well.
Right. To their standards.
To their standards.
Right.
They are like, I'm sorry, this beef is, the quality of this beef is too high for us to waste it, putting it on the flat iron, and then just leaving it.
Yeah.
We're not going to do it.
Right.
And this inevitably gets people up in arms. People are really delicate about the way that they cook their steaks, how they want their steaks, and how I guess some people look at it as an affront to your personal freedoms.
Yeah.
For a restaurant to be like, look, we're not gonna do it that way.
That's what this debate turned into.
Yeah.
Was like people saying, well, I just simply will not go there because they are keeping me from my God-given right to eat a burnt steak.
Well, if there were more people who said they won't go there, I would be fine with that because that's the point, right? Just don't go to a place that doesn't cook the thing. But there was a lot of people saying, this is bullshit. How are you going to tell me how my steak is going to get cooked? And it's like, you didn't pay for it yet. It's not your steak.
Yeah. You don't have a freedom to steak.
Yeah.
Like they can
make
make
someone else's home.
No, they can make it however they want to.
Yeah.
Which is the bottom line. But, at that same time, they could lose out on your business, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
That's
I think that's a pretty fair trade-off.
It is. It's capitalism, baby.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
But apparently, it's only capitalism when it works for certain people. Or I should say capitalism is good when it works for certain people.
Sure.
When it doesn't, that's when all of a sudden it's like, whoa, 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 whoa.
You're infringing on my freedom,
What is
sir.
this? Yeah. Excuse me. No, it was wild seeing people, a lot of people, mad at the restaurant and thinking and saying, like, this is bullshit. I want my steak cooked the way that I want it. Who are you to tell me how I'm going to have my steak? It's like, look, dude, stay home. Make your own steak.
Right.
No one's telling you how to make your steak. What I'm telling you is that when you come to my home, this is how steaks get cooked.
Yeah. I think what people are losing sight of here is that they're not saying you can't have your steak that way ever.
Right.
They're not going to have the steak police come in and arrest you for having a well-done steak. Yeah. Get out of here.
Although they should.
They should. Yeah. You deserve to be in jail.
You deserve to be in jail.
But yeah, I think just again, this is that like cultural affiliation with how you want your steak done.
Yeah,
and it becomes a weirdly personal discussion.
Yeah,
I think it because there's a lot of like pretension around it too.
Definitely,
because I feel like, to be fair, that entire thing, that entire menu setup of like, we're not going to do well done at all. medium well, we're going to kind of slap your hand a little bit for.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of you guys are cool.
Yeah.
That alone is pretentious.
Yeah.
If people want a well-done steak, I would put it, if you want to be funny about it, put some fine print in there going, you suck or something, or like, we don't agree with you doing this. If this is your first time having a really good quality steak, we recommend you doing a medium.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
You don't have to, be a snob about it.
Yeah.
But that's their choice, and it's kind of fun, if you're on that other side of the debate of not wanting a well-done steak.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think any place that wants to serve the food. Here's the thing, it is a conversation based solely around steak because it's become so like culturally ingrained in American society of like how a steak should be cooked.
Yeah,
and how other people decide. Like, there's this selection of people who are like, this is how it should be made, and then there's another selection of people who are like, no, that's disgusting. But nobody ever has a complaint when, say, you make a chicken bacon ranch quesadilla. People, Latinos don't go in there and be like, the fuck is this bullshit?
Yeah.
Like,
this is not a chicken bacon ranch, sir.
Or it's an affront to the idea of a quesadilla.
It's not offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No other thing like that is no other food item I think is like that. I mean,
burgers come close. I feel like there's a burger culture.
There definitely is.
Pizza too.
But now we're getting into specifics. If you say like, this is my version of a bao bun, and it's like an abomination,
right?
Yeah, you're gonna get a lot of people who are like, that's not how it's supposed to be done.
Sure,
that's fine. I get that.
Specific cultural touchstone foods.
Yes.
When you get into like fusion and things like that, yeah,
it
can get offensive because it's like, this is part of my culture ingrained, and now you're taking it and bastardizing it and not doing it right and calling it what it's not.
Right. Exactly. Steak is one of those things that's just,
it's an item.
Yeah, it's not a cultural
protein
thing. I guess the way that it gets made is a cultural thing.
Sure.
And I mean, you see a lot of black folks like their steak cooked well done. Not all of them. Mm-hmm. Black people are not a monolith. But there are a lot of black folks that like their steak cooked well done. And there's a lot of us who just want to pull them out of whatever that thought process is.
Yeah.
And just say you're you're depriving yourself of something so beautiful and so delicious and so juicy. And just, why?
I grew up in a well-done house. I grew up in a well-done house. I say that with some level of shame. But I remember when my mind was changed, and it was when I went over to my friend Ryan's house.
Yeah.
In elementary school. I think it was maybe the fourth grade. Ryan lives in Texas, originally from Texas, was living in Orlando at the time, though. So obviously steak was on the menu. And there, I didn't get an option when I was there for dinner. And so we had a old thickum steak, medium done. That's it. No options. I looked at it as this pink juice was sopping out of it. Besides myself.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to get some kind of worm and die because this thing is still mooing. And then I tried it, and I'm like, I didn't know that steak had flavor outside of A1 sauce.
Right.
I thought steak was slightly fresher jerky.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I tried that, and I was like, I mean, this is it. And then I didn't get it again at home until maybe 3 years ago, when finally I was given the freedom to make steaks for my family. And I said, look, just trust me. Just trust me. Mm-hmm. I've been doing this for a little while now. I gave it to him medium. I said, look, a little bit of pink in the middle. It's not going to hurt you. I promise. It's only going to be good for you. My brother also got on that train too.
Yeah. And
so together we presented a unified medium steak front. And I'm proud to say to this day, that's what my family is now.
This is good.
Yeah.
This is nice to hear.
Yeah, we've made some improvement there.
Yeah, because not my family.
No.
My dad will go so far as to have... I think he's had I could see his face when he gets a medium steak. I mean, he's just like
Slight disgust.
yeah, it's a little too pink for me.
Yeah.
My mom, well, she doesn't eat meat anymore, so that's out.
Mhm.
My brother, well done. He's just one of those guys who's like, yeah, just
Burn
cook
it.
the shit out of it. Just cook the fuck out of it.
Mhm.
And I'm like, why? And he's like, that's how I like my steak, son. I'm like, all right, man. Every time we go out, I'm like, why don't you just get a hamburger? Why are you wasting money?
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. And I saw some people in the comments of the tweet going, you guys just don't know how to cook a well-done steak.
Right.
You can
I make
still
mine
it
nice
juicy.
and
It's
juicy.
like, no, you don't.
No. That's sauce, sir.
You don't.
That's sauce.
I
Or
don't,
oil.
I don't believe you. I just don't believe
No.
that you can make that your steaks, your homemade steaks, are as tender as a medium rare or a medium steak at like a nice steakhouse.
They can't be. There's like it makes no scientific sense that a well done steak is going to be as tender, juicy, or flavorful as a well done or as a medium steak.
Yeah.
You know, like it just makes no sense.
No, it can't be. Can't be real.
No. I mean, you can of course crust it with all the seasoning you want. Sure, it's gonna have flavor then.
Yeah, you can make it taste good. There's no like, I'm not fighting you on the taste of it so much as like you can season the fuck out of it, like you said. You can go to the store and get steak seasoning, and then have your A1 sauce on the side.
Sure.
By the way, side note, A1's gross.
You don't like A1?
No. And I always used to get A1 with when I was a kid because I thought, as you did, that was the way that they were well done with A1 sauce. I thought because it's steak sauce, so I thought you're supposed to eat steak with it.
It makes it palatable. Like it makes it easier to chew and to swallow, and it tenderizes it a little bit.
It's the internal lubricant for steak.
Exactly. Otherwise, it like literally gets stuck in here.
And so every time we would get steak, I would get A1 sauce with it, and I'd like, this is not good. It's too, it's like sour.
It's very tangy.
I don't like, I just don't, I just think it's not a good taste, in my opinion, to go with steaks. I hate A1 sauce. Finally, when I had a good steak, and someone was like, a really well done steak is salt and pepper, garlic butter, thyme in the, you know, and then that's it. You don't have to, and I was like, oh, you don't even need the sauce?
Not well done.
Not well done.
Not temperature wise.
No. No. Right. Yeah. No. A well-made steak.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
And yeah, my mind was blown. I was like, you're
supposed to taste
the sauce?
the beef?
You're supposed to taste this?
Weird.
Every bite?
Yeah. Strange.
So yeah, A1 sauce. Bleh.
So that being said, I think we have to come to a head on this one. What is your steak preference?
Medium rare.
Okay.
I got medium rare.
Okay. You prefer grilled? Do you prefer flat top? Do you prefer reverse seared?
I like that reverse sear, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, I think.
What's your favorite cut of steak?
Porterhouse.
Okay.
You gotta get that big fucking T-bone. I've never had a tomahawk.
It's too much.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's too big.
I see sometimes on like these Food Network things or like on YouTube where they're cooking a steak that's like 3 inches. And it's like, who's that for?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who's eating that?
That's too. Yeah, that's just too much for me.
It's too much. I don't like that.
Let's see.
Anything that's like too, like when they make burgers and burgers like, you know, 6 or 7 inches high, and you're just like, who's eating that?
It's unappetizing to me.
Yeah, it
makes me
gross.
a human-sized burger.
When you see these foods on Instagram and they make like 6 cheeseburgers and they wrap that cheeseburger in a burrito and like shove it in a plastic bag and tie that up and then they cut it down the middle and give you a cross section and you're just like,
it needs mac and cheese too.
Yeah, right. Mac and cheese, and then they just drown it in some kind of like weird sriracha mayo mixture, and you're just like, that's inedible. I'm not eating that. That's crazy.
Past a certain point, it starts looking gross. Maybe that's another thing of turning 30.
Yeah.
You just look at that stuff and you're like,
that Instagram food is just not for me, man.
My colon weeps.
It starts off, like the video starts and you're like, that's a nice cut of beef right there. And then they just keep piling shit on top. It's like, why? What have you done? It was so good before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you pulled up cuts?
Yeah, different cuts here. I'd say my favorite is probably it's hard to say, but I'd say a ribeye. I want that on an open flame. You get some nice caramelization of all that fat. Render it. just salt, pepper.
Yeah.
And that's all she wrote.
Yeah.
But I need that fat to caramelize. I want a very hard sear on that.
Yeah.
But medium on the inside.
Yeah.
That's it. You put it on for maybe 5 minutes, flip it over.
Boom. Boom.
Delicious. Yep.
Done and done.
Yep.
Yeah. People just have low standards for themselves.
Or no, I think it has a lot to do with fear and misinformation because when I was growing up, if you see any pink in the meat at all, it's like you're going to get sick. Mm-hmm. There's no way around it.
Yeah, you're eating an uncooked and that's blood gushing out of the beef.
Yeah.
Which I mean, you go your whole adult life thinking that you're drinking blood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, it's definitely fear and misinformation. And I get it. I get why there's people who are like, look, just cook it all the way. There's no, don't take it off. Just cook it all the way.
Yeah.
I don't care about your standards. I don't care about the culture. Just cook my food all the way.
Yeah.
I get it. But it's just, I don't know. Those same people, they don't want to eat sushi because it's raw.
Sure.
They don't want, it's just some things where, like my uncle is that way.
Mm-hmm.
He's just so unadventurous when it comes to food. And he doesn't want to eat anything but Americanized food.
Yeah.
Cheeseburgers. Like he won't even, I was making if I bring like any kind of ethnic food home from anywhere else, like if we go to like a Mexican place and bring burritos or something, and he's just like, nah.
Not for me.
Nah, I'll just eat liverwurst.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's his sandwich of choice. Liverwurst, mayo, white, untoasted bread, smashed together.
So it just gets like mushy in your mouth?
Yeah, doesn't it make you just want to throw up?
Oof.
Just the idea of like just mushy liverwurst. It's just like this thick, pinkish gray mass.
Yeah.
And then Miracle Whip, which is the worst of all the mayos.
It gets worse.
And then he doesn't even toast the bread. I'm just like, Uncle Scotty, at least toast the bread so you can give yourself some kind like a texture change. That there's something that's just not this mush. This just soft, amorphous, just.
You might as well put it like in a Go-Gurt packet at that point,
Or grab it with your entire hand. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So at least they're not that. At least they're getting this.
To be fair, I am still weird about chicken. I want my chicken a little dry.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Because there's a fine line between a really well-made piece of chicken and salmonella.
Sure.
So
yeah,
that's a little different.
Yep.
I get that.
Yep.
I get that. If you get people who don't know how to cook, you could run into a lot of issues. So there is a fine line, and going out to these places, you are trusting a stranger. Sure. I get that.
In a lot of places, I don't trust that I'm going for the first time, or if it's like a dive bar or something, and I'm getting a burger, and they ask what my doneness is going to be, I'm going to say, well.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know. I don't know the quality of their beef. I don't know what they're doing back there. So, just to be safe, I'll do that.
Yeah. I respect that.
But only if I don't trust them.
I just don't know why you would want to go out to a place where you have to spend $60 on just a steak just for them to burn it.
Yeah. Well, it's because that's the way you like it. And that's the way they're going to do it, Marco. That's the way they're going to do it.
That's the way they're going to fucking do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you guys like your steaks? Let us know. They all should be medium well, or medium to medium rare, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Not even medium well. I didn't even think that. I'm fully on board with this steakhouse's opinion. It's just like I'm not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it. So just go to Applebee's if you want your steak cooked to a crisp. Mm-hmm. You can have your steak however you want it over there.
Yeah.
Don't walk into these doors and then go burn it.
Well, that could be the little parenthetical on the bottom is well done. Go to Applebee's.
Yeah, if you want well done, go to Applebee's.
Yeah.
You're not. Don't come in here. It is pretentious.
Of course. But so are you.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, when it comes to that, fine. I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll take the pretension.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah. You take it.
I will. It's been taken. You're just thinking about my uncle's sandwich, right?
Yeah. I just can't get it out of my head.
Uncle Scotty sandwich.
The Uncle Scotty special.
Uncle Scotty special. The Scotty special.
Ugh.
Liverwurst. And Miracle Whip. Miracle Whip's so gross. It takes on, it's just such a weird.
It's a sweet spread.
It's not right.
Yeah.
It's not right.
Yeah.
Because every other mayonnaise has like a similar taste to it.
Mm-hmm.
There's qualities to your mayonnaise, of course.
Yeah.
But every other mayonnaise has a similar taste, except for Miracle Whip. Miracle Whip is not mayonnaise. It's Miracle Whip. It's a different thing.
And it's one of those weird things that they can't legally call mayonnaise if they wanted to, you know?
Is it?
Yeah. It's not mayonnaise.
Shouldn't that make you want to be like, well, this doesn't belong on a sandwich that needs mayonnaise?
Do you know in order to call it mayonnaise, it has to be made in France?
Shut up. You had me for a tenth of a second.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mayonnaise.
Oui, oui.
We have
How do you say a mayonnaise?
A mayonnaise. A Miracle Whip.
A milk. Miracle
Whip.
These beers aren't strong enough. No.
All right.
Uh-huh.
We got a little bit time left.
Okay.
Let's end it on a high.
Okay.
Let's talk about video games.
I love it. Love it.
So there was E3.
Yeah.
Which kind of, I know I'm not the only person who thought it came and went.
Yeah, well, I mean, this year is, different.
Yeah.
Because of, obviously, we're still getting back to the new normal.
The new normal.
So there wasn't a physical E3.
Why not, though? Do they think that was too many people?
Well, here's my thought. I think that at the time that they would have been planning this and like getting all the booths together and getting, everything rented out, we're talking months in advance. At that time, they probably didn't know whether or not people would be willing to travel, especially internationally. Some people still can't travel internationally. The state of vaccines, all that stuff. So
I guess that's true.
Yeah, I think it was more of
to plan something that far in advance.
Yeah.
You don't know.
If it was something that they could have done like immediately, then they probably would have. But
yeah. It just feels like the pandemic is just coming to this slow burn end. Like it's just like the embers of it. It was just kind of slowly fizzling out.
Yeah.
And everyone thought that there would be a date that we would be able to turn into a national holiday of like when the pandemic ended, and everyone could just open their doors and freedom, and we were just gonna come out into the streets and like do cartwheels and shit. And instead, it just kind of doors just started to slowly creep open.
Are we okay?
Windows.
Did we make it?
Some places never closed.
Yeah.
They were all just looking at all the doors slowly opening. Like, what took you so long?
Right.
We've been out here farting and shit.
Here forever. Love breathing your air.
So, fucked up the angle a little
What have
bit.
you done?
Sorry about
that.
So, yeah, I could see why it would be difficult to plan that.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway,
it started off with the Summer Fest, which is actually not technically E3, but had some of the biggest announcements. I won't go through it all because you haven't seen any of it.
None of it.
Okay.
Just give us your highlights.
The big winners of this entire showcase, probably Microsoft and Bethesda together, because they're one thing now, right? Microsoft bought Bethesda. So all of them games like Fallout and all the kin of those are going to be exclusive to Xbox moving forward, which is good for Xbox.
Yeah. Not good for us, but
no, they showed their new sci-fi game, which looks pretty cool. No gameplay, just a little trailer. What's it called again? Look it up.
Look it up.
But yeah, Xbox definitely showed off some cool indies, and also Starfield is the name of it.
Starfield.
Yeah, I wanted to say Skyfall. That's not it. Let's see. Yeah, Xbox had some really cool kind of indie-ish games that were showcased there. But the big one, obviously, for Xbox is, you can go ahead and guess it, Halo.
Mm-hmm.
So for single-player nerds like me, didn't get anything. It was all multiplayer they're showing off.
Yeah.
Essentially. Which is not a bad thing because the multiplayer looks awesome. And the big reveal, I'm not sure if they revealed it there necessarily, but the big announcement and big conversation, I should say, that's being had over Halo is that the multiplayer is going to be free to play.
Ooh.
So, and cross-gen for PC and Xbox.
Cross-gen.
No, not on PlayStation. Don't you dare. No. So yeah, I mean, it looks really cool. It looks, I mean, better than that first showcase they had of Halo that looked kind of crummy.
Yeah.
That people were memeing. But again, not having really anything for single player, knowing that you're going to have to pay full price for just the single player now, I'm kind of like, oh, well, you know, like, I'd be much more excited if we knew more about that and had more solid footing of what exactly that was going to look like.
Yeah.
If you're going to ask people to pay $70 for just a single player campaign.
Yeah, they're getting a little weird with that.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of the same thing with Battlefield.
Well, and that's been the big conversation too, is that people are saying, you know, Battlefield now is going to be just multiplayer, but you're asking people to pay full price for just multiplayer.
Yeah.
So they're kind of diametrically opposed games. So, you know, multiplayer on these games in particular tends to be more important to most players. So, I don't know. I think Halo kind of has a leg up on Battlefield in this specific department.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that all plays out. But it's just interesting. It's going to be interesting to see this play out as far as who ends up being more popular. I know obviously Battlefield's going to have more people able to play it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see what happens to Halo moving forward because it's been in kind of a weird place since the last game.
Yeah.
And then Master Chief Collection, and like how long those games took to kind of get traction, because when they first launched, the multiplayer was all broken and stuff.
And I read some nerds op-ed about Master Chief and how he was like, look, they need to stop dragging him out and just like keep rehashing the story with him. Like it seems like his story's been going on other than what was the one that he's not in?
Reach.
Yeah.
Halo Reach, the prequel.
People thought like, oh, okay, cool. They're going to do some like cool shit without him.
And ODST.
And they were like, no, we're going to bring him back.
Yeah.
To fans, much to fans fanfare. Fans fanfare.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people are like how long are we going to do this? You know? And some people, I mean, because like, here's the thing. With other icons of their consoles or genres, their stories are not like Mario, for instance. He's just a goofy character, right?
It's a cartoon
do
character.
Whatever you want with. He's a cartoon character.
Yeah.
But obviously, with a more like a Joel,
or Nathan Drake,
like you have to end that story at some point.
Yeah.
It just can't continue.
Sure.
And people are like, what point does Halo stop with Master Chief? And then what do you do once it's done?
I think this would be a good point, too, because, you know, you can put a cap on his story with this one. Because I tend to agree with that, having played through the last campaigns, the most recent one. I mean, it was good, but I couldn't help but feel like there's not a whole lot of ground to tread here. There's a lot of mysteries left in the story because they leave him kind of ambiguous as a character on purpose. But it's like, you know, I'm ready for new stories to be told in the Halo universe.
Yeah.
And they keep dipping their toe into it because they had the campaign where you play half as him and half as the team going after him.
Yeah.
So, and then again, like those older games, ODST, you play as like a completely side team, and Reach is a prequel without him in it. So I think they keep playing with the idea of moving on beyond Master Chief, and maybe they'll do that with this game and kind of sunset him as character, and then the next ones we'll have is more like an open-ended thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Yeah. What other highlights did you see?
So beyond that, I think the other big winner this year was Nintendo. So they're bringing out a lot of old fan favorites, which is what Nintendo's good at. So we're getting another Wario game, which will be fun. We are getting another Mario Party, which is bringing back a lot of the old N64 maps and mini games that people wanted in the last Mario Party.
Hell yeah.
And it's going to be online too, so you can play online. Yeah. So excited for that. The, I guess, second biggest reveal was the Metroid game they're making.
Oh, shit.
So, they're making another Metroid Prime that's in the works, but in between that, they're making another 2D style Metroid game.
Okay.
It's called Metroid Dread, and I have already pre-ordered it because it looks really cool. It looks like it's like almost a survival horror kind of like feel to it.
Yeah.
But very dark and very like creepy.
This is the first time that I've had a Nintendo console while it was in its current gen.
Really?
So that like games that are coming out, I'm like, oh, I could get that. Like I could be excited about that and not be, buying it after the fact.
Right.
Like this Metroid game, I'm like, maybe I'll buy it too.
Yeah,
that sounds like fun.
It looks cool. It looks really cool. And I'm excited for it. So there's that. The biggest game, obviously Breath of the Wild 2. It's got to be.
Yeah.
As someone who just recently beat Breath of the Wild 1.
It took you so long.
I don't like. Forgive me, fans. It took me about a year and a half for that game to click for me.
Yeah.
I kept jumping in and out. Like, I hated the weapon and shield damage and just them not having any durability at all. You break them after hitting an enemy like 4 times.
Yeah.
It gets really annoying. I hate that, or I did. But then I just kind of accepted it and started progressing in the game more and more and getting stronger and stronger. And the puzzles were fun and just kind of taking the pressure off of, like, I think this single player nerddom of mine bit me in the butt with this game because I wanted like a linear story. It's not that game. This is a world that you explore, and there are puzzles within it and little like beats within it that you can play around in. And it's basically a sandbox.
Yeah.
So you have to wrap your head around that and learn how to play within the confines of that. And it's incredible. I think it's a modern masterpiece now. Like if the story was a little bit better, I'd say a 10 out of 10. I'd give it a 9 out of 10.
Okay.
Excuse me, 5 out of 6 bottle caps.
Yeah, right.
5.5. 5.5. But yeah, it's there's no better traversal of a world than in Breath of the Wild, because you can literally climb anything. You can fly off stuff. You can use, like, the entire world's built on mechanics that all like work together. I can gush all day about it. But anyway, needless to say, Breath of the Wild 2, which is not the official name, which they haven't revealed yet, looks like it's just building on top of that.
Yeah.
This one's going to be more aerial based. Looks like there's going to be like flying islands in the sky.
Okay.
Very Miyazaki-esque. And yeah, it just looks incredible. I want to know more.
Yeah.
There's been lots of speculation that you're playing as young Ganon.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. So that would be interesting.
Yeah.
And there seems to be some like time travel mechanics within it now too that they're adding to the pile that you have. So yeah, I'm super interested. I have nothing but faith for that team to make another classic out of this. And if you haven't played Breath of the Wild and you have a Switch, I implore you, give it a shot. It may take a while for it to sink in, but go into it and just play. Just, have fun.
Yeah.
Don't be so focused on trying to get everything done. Just explore, find the little temples they have for you to find, and and just focus on getting your like stamina up. That's it.
All right.
Yeah.
I need to do that.
Mm-hmm. Did you get it yet?
No.
Oh, come on.
No.
It's on sale.
I know at Best Buy right now.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go and grab it at Best Buy
Okay.
tomorrow. Yeah.
You should do that.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, before I do that, we're going to have to review these beers.
All right.
We can't do anything else until we review these beers. So let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Tonight's beer was from the Prision Pals Brewing Company, the Hop Abduction Hazy IPA. Do you think that it had 3 out of 5 bitterness score?
I actually do.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It was more bitter than I was expecting it to be with the lactose. I thought the lactose would really mellow it out.
Yeah.
But I'm not really getting a whole lot of that lactose kind of like smoothness that you usually expect from a lactose beer.
Yeah.
Not that I think that's a bad thing necessarily. Hopefully that means they didn't put too much lactose in it. Otherwise, I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, we'll have a story for next
I
week.
sure will. But yeah, I thought this was a pretty solid beer. I mean, not too heavy, not overly flavorful, but has a good amount of that hoppy flavor you look for in an IPA. I'm gonna give it a solid 4. I think if you're looking for something a little lighter, but you still want that hoppy bite, might be up your alley. Just take a lactate if you need it.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 4 too. My review's not as glowing though. I just think it's kind of it's a well done IPA.
Uh-huh.
But it's nothing special. It's nothing. It's just I don't even know. I've lost count of how many IPAs we've done on the show, how many IPAs there are in stores, how many IPAs get made by these breweries, and I don't know, this didn't rock my socks.
Yeah.
Didn't knock me socks off.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. It was good. It was good. It was solid.
Yep.
If you see this somewhere at a tap room, or if you visit Prision Pals, this is solid, but I would see if they got better shit than this.
Yeah.
So, but still 4 out of 6. I think it's still solid.
Solid.
So, think we got it?
I know we got it.
All right. Then let's get the fuck out of here. This has been the One Beer In Podcast. For myself, Marco Dupa. For Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
I love you, Brewskis.
Thank you guys for listening. Drink delicious beer. Long live Black Superman.
Thank
And
you.
have a beautiful evening.
Cheers.
Almost forgot.
Maybe that's where the dislikes are coming from. We have like 3 subscribers that tune in just to see if we say it. And when we do,
Downvote.